Blindness by José Saramago. Blindness is a dystopian novel that explores the breakdown of society following an inexplicable epidemic of blindness. The story begins with an unnamed man who suddenly goes blind while driving. The blindness quickly spreads, and those affected are quarantined in an abandoned mental hospital. As the epidemic spirals out of control, societal norms collapse, revealing the darker aspects of human nature. The novel focuses on a group of individuals who navigate this new reality, led by the only person who remains sighted, the doctor's wife. Themes of loss, survival, and the fragility of civilization are explored through the harrowing experiences of the characters. Let's deep dive into the book. The first blindness. The novel opens with a man suddenly going blind while waiting at a traffic light. His blindness is characterized by a milky whiteness. Unlike the usual darkness associated with blindness, he is helped home by a stranger who later steals his car. This first case marks the beginning of a rapidly spreading epidemic. As more people go blind, the government tries to contain the situation by quarantining the affected individuals. This section sets the stage for the novel's exploration of the fragility of societal order and the onset of chaos. Quarantine and isolation. The blind are rounded up and placed in an abandoned mental hospital, guarded by soldiers who have orders to shoot anyone attempting to escape. The conditions in the quarantine are dire, with inadequate food, sanitation, and medical care. The doctor's wife, who pretends to be blind to stay with her husband, becomes the group's de facto leader. This section highlights themes of isolation, the loss of human dignity, and the struggle for survival in dehumanizing conditions. Descent into chaos. As more blind people are brought into the quarantine, the overcrowded conditions lead to a breakdown of order. A group of thugs takes control of the food supply, hoarding resources and exploiting the other inmates. They demand valuables and, eventually, the women in exchange for food. The doctor's wife, the only sighted person, witnesses the atrocities and struggles with the moral implications of intervening. This section explores themes of power, corruption, and the depths of human depravity. The uprising and escape. The desperate conditions lead to an uprising against the thugs. The doctor's wife, armed with a pair of scissors, kills the leader of the thugs, sparking a revolt. The blind inmates manage to overthrow their oppressors, but a fire breaks out, destroying the quarantine facility. The survivors escape into a city that has fallen into complete anarchy. This section highlights themes of resistance, the quest for freedom, and the resilience of the human spirit. Survival in the city. The group of survivors, led by the doctor's wife, navigates a city in ruins. The infrastructure has collapsed, food is scarce, and blind people wander aimlessly. The doctor's wife uses her sight to help the group find food and shelter, but the challenges are immense. The novel paints a bleak picture of a society stripped of order and civility. This section explores themes of community, leadership, and the struggle to maintain humanity in the face of overwhelming adversity. Rediscovering humanity. Despite the chaos, the group forms strong bonds and begins to rediscover their humanity. Acts of kindness and solidarity emerge, contrasting with the earlier brutality. The doctor's wife continues to guide and support the group, embodying hope and resilience. This section underscores themes of compassion, solidarity, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. The survivor's journey reflects the possibility of redemption and the rebuilding of community. The return of sight. One by one, people begin to regain their sight as inexplicably as they lost it. The epidemic ends, and the survivors start to rebuild their lives. The doctor's wife reflects on the experiences they endured and the lessons learned. The return of sight symbolizes a new beginning and the potential for a more compassionate society. This section explores themes of renewal, the restoration of order, and the enduring hope for a better future. The doctor's wife's perspective. Throughout the novel, the doctor's wife serves as the moral and emotional anchor for the group. Her sight allows her to bear witness to both the horrors and the small acts of humanity. Her perspective provides a lens through which the reader can understand the profound changes in the characters and society. Her resilience and leadership are central to the group's survival. This section emphasizes themes of leadership, empathy, and the burden of witnessing suffering. Reflection on human nature. Blindness ultimately serves as a reflection on human nature and the thin veneer of civilization. The epidemic strips away societal norms, revealing both the brutality and the capacity for kindness within people. The novel challenges readers to consider how they would respond in similar circumstances and what it means to be truly human. This reflection underscores the fragility of societal constructs and the essential need for compassion and cooperation. The power of vision. The novel concludes with a meditation on the power of vision, both literal and metaphorical. The return of sight represents not just the end of the physical blindness, but also a deeper understanding and awareness of the human condition. The characters emerge from their ordeal with a new perspective on life and a renewed sense of purpose. This final section highlights themes of insight, awareness, and the transformative power of experience. Let's meet together the main characters of the book. The doctor's wife is the central character and moral anchor of the novel. She is the only person who retains her sight during the epidemic, allowing her to guide and protect the group of survivors. Her empathy, resilience, and leadership are crucial to their survival. She witnesses both the horrors and the small acts of humanity, embodying hope and strength. Her character represents themes of compassion, leadership, and the burden of bearing witness. The doctor is an ophthalmologist who goes blind early in the epidemic. He becomes a key member of the group of survivors, relying on his wife for guidance. His character reflects themes of vulnerability, the loss of control, and the struggle to maintain dignity in the face of helplessness. The doctor's relationship with his wife highlights the interdependence and trust necessary for survival. The first blind man is the initial case of the epidemic. His sudden blindness sets off the chain of events that lead to the societal collapse. He becomes one of the main characters in the quarantine, representing the confusion and fear that accompany the sudden loss of sight. His character underscores themes of uncertainty, the spread of panic, and the human response to inexplicable events. The first blind man's wife becomes blind shortly after her husband. She joins him in the quarantine and becomes an integral part of the group. Her character illustrates the theme of loyalty and the bonds that hold people together in times of crisis. Her journey reflects the shared experiences of suffering and resilience among the survivors. The girl with the dark glasses is a young woman who goes blind and is quarantined. She was a prostitute before the epidemic and becomes a compassionate and resourceful member of the group. Her character highlights themes of redemption, the breaking down of social stigmas, and the capacity for personal growth in adversity. Her transformation underscores the novel's exploration of human resilience. The boy with the squint is a child who goes blind and is separated from his family. He is taken in by the group and cared for, symbolizing innocence and vulnerability. His presence brings out the protective instincts in the other characters and emphasizes the theme of communal care. The boy's experiences highlight the impact of the epidemic on the most vulnerable members of society. The old man with the black eye patch is another member of the quarantine. He provides wisdom and perspective, often reflecting on the nature of their situation. His character represents themes of wisdom, the passage of time, and the endurance of the human spirit. The old man's reflections add depth to the novel's exploration of human nature and society. The leader of the thugs is a blind man who seizes control of the food supply in the quarantine. He exploits and brutalizes the other inmates, representing the theme of power and corruption. His character illustrates the moral decay that can arise in desperate situations and the capacity for cruelty within human nature. His eventual downfall underscores the themes of resistance and justice. Let's explore together the main themes and concepts of the book. Human nature and society. Blindness delves deeply into the themes of human nature and society, exploring how people react when stripped of societal norms and structures. The epidemic reveals both the darkest and most compassionate aspects of human behavior. The novel examines the fragility of civilization and the thin veneer that separates order from chaos. This theme underscores the inherent complexities of human nature and the essential role of empathy and cooperation in maintaining social order. Power and corruption. The novel explores the theme of power and corruption through the actions of the thugs who seize control of the food supply in the quarantine facility. Their exploitation and abuse of the other inmates highlight how quickly power can corrupt and lead to brutality. This theme reflects the dangers of unchecked authority and the moral decay that can arise in desperate situations. It also underscores the importance of resistance and solidarity in combating oppression. Isolation and solidarity. Isolation and solidarity are central themes in Blindness. The quarantine creates physical and emotional isolation, exacerbating the character's vulnerability and despair. However, it also fosters a sense of solidarity among the survivors, who form a makeshift community to support each other. This theme highlights the duality of isolation as both a source of suffering and a catalyst for human connection. The novel emphasizes the importance of solidarity in overcoming adversity and rebuilding community. Survival and resilience. The character's struggle for survival and resilience in the face of overwhelming adversity is a key theme. The harsh conditions in the quarantine and the anarchic city test their physical and emotional limits. The doctor's wife exemplifies resilience, using her sight to protect and guide the group. This theme underscores the strength of the human spirit and the capacity for endurance and adaptability in extreme circumstances. The character's resilience reflects the potential for renewal and hope even in the darkest times. Empathy and compassion. Empathy and compassion emerge as vital themes in the novel, contrasting with the brutality and indifference exhibited by others. The doctor's wife's empathy drives her to care for and protect the group, often at great personal cost. Acts of kindness and solidarity among the survivors illustrate the enduring power of compassion to heal and sustain. This theme emphasizes the necessity of empathy in maintaining humanity and fostering a sense of community in times of crisis. Let's talk about the author. José Saramago was a Portuguese writer and recipient of the 1998 Nobel Prize in Literature. Known for his distinctive writing style, Saramago often blended reality with fantastical elements to explore complex social and philosophical themes. His works, including Blindness, are characterized by long sentences, minimal punctuation, and a unique narrative voice. Saramago's novels frequently address issues of human rights, morality, and the fragility of society. Blindness, published in 1995, remains one of his most celebrated works, lauded for its profound exploration of human nature and the structures that sustain civilization. Saramago's contributions to literature have left a lasting legacy, influencing writers and readers worldwide. Sincere thanks for watching. If you found this summary helpful, consider taking a moment to hit the subscribe button, like or share the video. If you have any feedbacks or book requests, make sure to leave a comment. Regardless, I wish you a great day.